So it's nice and it's pretty and it feels good, but it also slips around and then I end up eating it, so. But if you want my honest opinion, that's what I wrote in my notes. What are they trying to say? I'm honestly a little bummed, to say the least, that I haven't done this style of video in quite some time. In fact, I don't even want to check to see the last time I did a full brand review on my channel because I'm pretty sure it's been years. So I've been testing out these products from Fwee for a couple of weeks now. I wanted to have some time to really thoroughly test them, see how long lasting they were, give you guys some thorough reviews, and also just tell you guys if I think that they're worth the money or not. I have everything from eyeshadow palettes to lip products to face products, cushions, and I'm gonna be talking about all of them in this video. To talk about the brand a little bit, Fwee is a brand that kind of popped up on my radar when I saw the Blusher Mellows make it on the Glow Pick Award winners, and those immediately seemed like a product I'd be interested in, so I have all of those blushes to talk about in this video. And if you follow my TikTok, you might have already seen that I did a full swatching video of them, so I'm gonna link that down below if you guys wanna follow my TikTok. Sometimes as I'm filming the B-roll or like the reviews for my YouTube channel, I'll put up some like mini versions of the videos on my TikTok because obviously it takes me some time to like actually test out all the products. So as I'm going through the process, I like to do that over on TikTok. So I'm gonna link that down below. If you guys could follow me over there, that would be great because I'm trying to build that as well. But something that was kind of new to me about this brand is they're actually a sister brand of Nimbuzin, which Nimbuzin is a Korean brand that basically goes by categories and numbers. So they basically have something in each category for your skincare routine and they number it for ease of use. They have a lot of products and I've noticed they're increasing in popularity, especially in like Western countries. And so I have a feeling that Fwee is kind of down that same path. Let's just jump into this. I think I've explained enough. The first product I'm gonna be talking about is the Fwee eyeshadow palette. This is the Eye Palette Glass in version 2 Summer. They do have 2 versions of this and I just have the one. The other one's kind of like a brown terracotta-y color family. I feel like I have so many brown eyeshadow palettes, so I didn't pick it up. I also feel like I have a lot of lilac-y pink eyeshadow palettes, but you know, between the two, I felt like I had less of these. This retails for about $25, and I would give this like a 3.5 out of 5 stars right off the bat. Now, I will say, I do think this is a really nice eyeshadow palette. I really appreciate the slim profile of this. It's very compact. However, for $25, because of that, I feel like these eyeshadow pans are quite small. If this were like my one working eyeshadow palette in my makeup collection, I'd probably burn through this in like a month or 2. As far as the shadows go themselves, I actually find that these are really nice. I have it on my eyes today, and for having some matte eyeshadows in here, I feel like they perform pretty nicely. They're smooth, they're blendable, they don't get muddy on the lids, and the shimmers are absolutely gorgeous, as with a lot of Korean beauty brands, and the glitter is quite nice as well and does seem to adhere on the lid. Typically when I use glitter, I just use my finger and pack it on, and it looks really nice. So I don't really have a lot of complaints with this. I think it's actually a very nice quality eyeshadow palette, but like I said, for $25, I kind of dinged a couple points because I feel like you could find another eyeshadow palette for $25 that's much better than this, but I'm not mad at it. Let's just go ahead and jump into the part of the video I think a lot of people are going to be interested in, which are the Blusher Mellows. Now these are 16 bucks a piece, which for a blush I feel like is about moderate price range, and I have a love-hate relationship with these. There are 8 shades available at the time of filming, and about 3 of them show up on my skin tone. So actually technically 4, because the highlighter definitely shows up on my skin tone, but I have some things to say about that, which I'll get to in a second. As far as pigmentation goes, the ones that do show up on my cheeks are very pigmented. And you guys can see in the B-roll as I'm speaking which ones are showing up on my skin. In fact, I'll put a little star by the ones that I really like. But formula-wise, these are advertised as a soft dough texture. I love soft dough textures. I find that they're very workable, they're buildable, they're forgivable, and I find that these are extremely buildable. I don't think that these are patchy, and I like the ones that do show up on my skin. For $16, I feel like these are pretty high quality products for that price range. I feel like you do get what you pay for with these. The actual product seems to be very long lasting, and the packaging itself I think is cute. On the color range, if you are a lighter skin tone, you would probably really like, because it does have like fun lavenders, peaches, guavas, darker coral tones, and so I feel like there's some good variety within these. However, like I keep saying, on my skin tone, only 3 shades really showed up. So if I were to go back and purchase these again, I would just stick to those 3 shades and not even bother with the other one. Like I mentioned, there is a highlighter shade, which is the Diamond 1 Carat. And this to me is a weird product. I honestly don't really know how to use this. It is so glittery and chunky. I wouldn't say that this is a good highlighter color unless you like chunks of glitter on your cheeks. So I wish this was a little bit more finely milled. It feels gritty. It doesn't have as much of that Play-Doh texture. So this product in itself feels like a whole different category, so I wouldn't recommend it. It looks really pretty, but it's really unworkable and not very practical. For the shades that do show up on my skin tone, I would give them a 4 out of 5 stars, and I don't really feel like it's appropriate for me to rate the other ones because they don't even show up on my skin tone, so take with that for what you will. Let's go ahead and talk about some face products, specifically the cushions first. I believe the Natural Suede cushion was the cushion that came out first. This retails for about $19.50, and I would give this like a 3 out of 5 stars. It's definitely not the best cushion foundation that I've tried, but some notes, I do find that the finish is very pretty on this. There's a bit of a soft glow without stickiness to it, and I don't find that it slips around, and once it sets up, it's pretty good at sticking to where you apply it. I find that the coverage of this is like a light to a medium coverage, and I would definitely say this is one of those brightening cushion foundations. So again, for someone like me who is a little bit of a tanner skin tone for Korean beauty, this looks a bit off. And I have the darkest shade, by the way. There are 4 shades available of this, and I have Natural Suede, and it's nowhere near my skin tone. For reference, I'll go ahead and put up some foundation shades that I am in other brands so you guys can cross-reference that if that's helpful. But yeah, you have to have a pretty light skin tone to make this work. One thing that I did like about this was I find that this is a very stretchable cushion foundation. So as you guys can see in the B-roll, one push of the air puff onto the cushion, and I was able to apply that to the full half of my face. In fact, I probably could have stretched it down my neck and on the other side of my skin if I really wanted to. But yeah, it's very stretchable, goes a long way, and pretty blendable. And because of the finish of this, I found that it wasn't super transferable. So as I would touch it throughout the day, it didn't come off on my hands or like onto my clothes accidentally. You guys will also see in the B-roll of this how long this foundation lasts. So if you're curious about how long it lasts, hopefully that's helpful. The other cushion foundation we have here is the Natural Glass foundation. This actually comes in 5 different shades. The first shade actually being labeled as clear. So if you have issues finding foundations that are suitable to your skin tone, if you have a very, very light skin tone, that might be right up your alley. However, for me, I obviously opted for the darkest one, which was shade number 3. This is slightly cheaper than the suede cushion that I just showed you guys, coming in at about $18. And this is definitely the glass skin version of the cushion. So by saying that, I mean there's a bit of a shininess to this, a bit of dewiness to this, and it has a bit of a moisturizing property to it. So this is really oriented towards people who have dry skin tones or someone who wants more of that like glowy complexion. Now going back to the actual shade of this, I found that this actually seemed to blend onto my skin a little bit nicer than the suede version. It seemed to, I don't even want to use the word match because it definitely does not match my skin tone, but it just looked a little bit better. It has about the same type of coverage to it, so I would say this is a light to medium type of coverage. And as far as transferring goes, this definitely does transfer. If I touched my face at any point in the day in an area that I did not set this, it came off. So this is definitely a cushion foundation you would have to set. I don't see how anyone could not set this. I feel like if you smiled or if your face moved, you would see it collect in any cracks. So I would probably give this similar, like a 3 out of 5 stars. It's kind of hard for me to rate both these cushions because if I weren't doing this video review, both of these cushions would not be something that I would naturally gravitate towards with my preferences. So I know I'm a little bit biased in rating these, but I have tried a lot of cushions, and between the 2 of these, I don't think I was impressed. Like, it was okay, I see the appeal, I can see why people would like them if you're into cushion foundations, but for me personally, I like other foundation products a lot better. Like I mentioned several times, I wanted to show you guys the wear of both of these cushion foundations in the B-roll. So I apply the glass cushion foundation to one side of my face and then the suede to the other side of my face, and I did a full day of wear. So this is what it looked like starting off. As you can see, the glass side is much more shiny and glowy, while the suede has more of a velvety soft finish. And here's a bit of a close-up. Now, I talked about transfer briefly, and as you can see, the suede didn't have too much transfer. This is not set whatsoever, and this is after the foundations had sat on my skin for about 10 minutes. And as you can see, even after that 10 minutes, the glass came right off my skin, so definitely needs to be set with powder, which is what I did for some areas of my skin. Now, I will be talking about this Powder Suede powder in a second in this video, but for demonstrative purposes, I did use this to set right underneath my eyes because this is kind of one of those areas, it doesn't matter what type of foundation I use, it will crease if I don't set it with powder. So I did take a little bit of that powder and pat it onto my eye area, but that's pretty much it because I did want to see how these cushion foundations lasted on their own. So this is pretty much immediately after application, and this is about 3 hours later. So you can see that the suede side still looks pretty good. The glass side is falling apart already. You can see up by my eye, I must have touched my skin again, and both of the foundations are kind of falling apart on creasy areas like my chin. So here's where I really freeze framed it, and this is actually after 6 hours of wear, and you can tell that because the foundation on my nose has basically worn off. I have, again, that spot there by my eye that's gone. And you can see on the suede side that it looks a little bit shinier in my opinion, so the oil from my skin has definitely broken down the foundation a little bit. Now, out of the two, the suede definitely held up better. However, in my opinion, I feel like both of these kind of broke down throughout the day. Again, I wasn't super impressed with how my skin looked. Like, if you can see in the close-ups, it's not great. And by the way, this is coming from someone who has dry skin, so I don't have to worry about a ton of oil breaking down the foundation. So if you do have oily skin, you probably wouldn't like either one of these as far as longevity goes. And like I said throughout my review of these cushions, I just wasn't super impressed. They were okay. Let's talk about the Powder Suede, which retails for about $17, and I would give this a 3.5 out of 5 stars. I rated it slightly higher because out of the face products that I did try, this was something that I actually thought was a nice setting product. It does have a white appearance to it, so it does go on quote-unquote translucent, but obviously past a certain skin tone, honestly me and a little bit deeper, this would probably come off a little bit whitish on your skin tone because it's not completely clear or transparent, even though I think that that's what it was designed to be. Now, talking about the powder itself, I liked it because it didn't go on my skin cakey. I could use either the puff that it came with and kind of set the areas that I wanted to set, or even use a brush with this, and I felt like it made a nice soft finish on my skin. So yeah, I didn't mind this. In fact, sometimes I will grab this to just use on my skin throughout the day. However, having said that, I would definitely say that this is a daytime type of powder and would not recommend this for nighttime because I did do a little flash test on this to see if it would flash back. And although it doesn't look super obvious in the pictures, I can see where I've applied it on my skin, and I applied it pretty lightly. So I'd imagine if you apply this any heavier, it would definitely flash back. So definitely not for nighttime use, a daytime use type of powder, and it was nice. I picked up one of each of the lip products they have. So first and foremost, let's go ahead and go over the Shine Balm. This I gave it a 3.5 out of 5 stars, and it retails for about $17. I felt like it went on really smoothly, and the formula feels pretty melty, which kind of goes hand in hand with a Shine Balm. This is supposed to give like a glass-like appearance to your lips, so just super shiny and almost give you that translucent effect. So I definitely say that it achieves that. However, where I dinged points off is the fact that it slips around on the lips because it is so shiny and balmy that I felt like it was slipping into my mouth as I was wearing it. So I felt like I was like tasting the fragrance. So it's nice and it's pretty and it feels good, but it also slips around and then I end up eating it, so. Not the purpose of a Shine Balm, but if you want my honest opinion, that's what I wrote in my notes. The next product I want to talk about is the Suede lip tint. I gave this a 3 out of 5 stars, and it retails for $13. Now, to be frank, these types of lip products are not my cup of tea. I'm not super into like lip tinty products that kind of sit heavily on the lips, and while I wouldn't say that this is a heavy lip product, it just, I can feel it on my lips. So in my head, it's like, I'm conscious that it's there. And so whenever I'm wearing a pigmented product, which this definitely is, I'm worried I'm gonna get it all over my face. But besides the fact that I don't necessarily care for these types of products, I have tried a lot of these types of products, and I feel like this was kind of patchy. So this comes in 10 shades if you guys are curious. And I did note that I liked the doe foot applicator of this because it's kind of bullet shaped, which I found was really helpful in the application process. And also the shade that I tested is Good Girl Gone Bad. Anyways, so yeah, 3 out of 5 stars. It's okay, not my cup of tea, but I tried better. And then last but not least is a lip product that I liked, and this is the Tint Glass. I gave this a 5 out of 5, and this is $11. I love this. I'm actually wearing it in my lips. I'm actually wearing it on my lips throughout this video, so you guys can kind of see it on my lips as I'm talking, which I'm clearly doing a lot of in this video. So I feel like it's really good at not slipping around, and it just applies so nicely. My lips feel pretty moisturized for having worn this now for probably like 2.5 hours. So I feel like that's pretty good for such a lightweight product. And when I say lightweight, this is extremely lightweight. This reminds me of the Water Bear tints from Peri Para, where they literally just go on as almost water. It really feels like as light as you can get with a lip product. So this is ideal for people like me who don't like to feel lip product on their lips. It's almost undetectable. Like if I think about it, I'm conscious that it's there, but it feels really comfortable. And it's non-drying, the color's beautiful, it kind of has a translucence to it, and it does say it's supposed to plump your lips. I don't think so. I think that's probably the shine that it gives. And it doesn't transfer, which is nice, and it does leave a little bit of a slight tint. So overall, this is kind of like my ideal world as far as a lip tint goes. Lightweight, long-lasting, leaves a light tint but not too heavy, has a bit of translucence to it, and it feels very comfortable on the lips. Oh, and the shade that I have is Unnamed B. What are they trying to say? So anyways, guys, that is my review of the brand Fwee. If you guys were curious about the brand like I was, I hope this was helpful. As I always do, I'm gonna go ahead and link all the products that I talked about in this video down in the description box below. I picked all mine up from yesstyle, and I always try to put a little discount code in the description box as well for yesstyle, so be sure to take advantage of that if you purchase from any of those links. And let me know in the comment section if you guys enjoyed the brand videos, if you want to see more of these brand videos, and what brands you'd specifically want to see. And as always, I hope you guys are happy and healthy, and don't forget to rate, comment, subscribe, share with friends and family, hit that notification bell, and I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye guys!